How's it? My name is Karel Abrams, but call me Cully. For a long time now I have been interested in the South African War, what a lot of people call the Boer War, which took place between 1899 to 1902. Although officially the war was between Britain and the two Boer Republics of Transvaal and the Orange Free State, as I was reading I realized how many different nationalities came over to South Africa to fight in this war, with a number of nationalities fighting on both sides. And so I thought I would start a channel looking at the different nationalities and personalities that came over here to fight. I don't intend to analyze the causes and consequences of the war. That has already been done by people a lot more clever than me. I would rather focus on some of the people and their amazing personalities that took part in a war the likes of which the world had never before seen. It is very difficult to know exactly how many volunteers came over to South Africa to fight with the Boers because many records were destroyed and different sources vary in their numbers. I have taken a number of these sources and averaged them out. So you can see the approximate number of foreign volunteers on this slide. Not surprisingly, the numbers coming from Holland, Belgium and Germany were very high as the Boers were direct descendants of those populations. But the large number from Russia is interesting, and even a couple from Britain itself. The large number from Ireland is also something to consider, particularly as Ireland is a small country, and especially as there was also a large number of Irishmen in the British Army. It is for this reason that the first few personalities I will be looking at are Irish from both sides. What is an interesting fact is that many volunteers had to become citizens of either the Transvaal Republic or the Orange Free State Republic. This was because their mother country was part of the British Empire and therefore they were British citizens. If they did not take out Transvaal or Free State citizenship, they would be guilty of treason. It is also a little-known fact that foreign volunteers were not paid, as this would have made them mercenaries, something that Britain could have used against the republics in the propaganda war. This is a version of the oath that foreign volunteers had to take before serving in the Transvaal Army, the South African Republic. I hereby make an oath of solemn allegiance to the people of the South African Republic, and I declare my willingness to assist, with all my power, the burghers of this republic in the war in which they are engaged. I further promise to obey the orders of those placed in authority according to law, and that I will work for nothing but the prosperity, the welfare, and the independence of the land and people of this republic, so truly help me, God Almighty. After taking this oath, the President, Paul Kruger or Martinus Steyn, would confer citizenship on that person. To end, a quote from the book With the Boer Forces by the American journalist Howard C. Hilligers provides a rare insight into the role of the foreign volunteers and the attitude of the Boer to these men.
The influx of foreigners into the country began simultaneously with the war, and it continued thereafter at the rate of about 400 men a month. The volunteers, as they were called by the burghers, consisted of the professional soldier, the man in search of loot, the man who fights for love of justice, and the adventurer. The professional soldier was of much service to the burghers so long as he was content to remain under a Boer leader. But as soon as he attempted to operate on his own responsibility, he became not only an impediment to the Boers, but also a positive danger. In the early stages of the war, the few foreign legions that existed met with disaster at Elandslartu, and thereafter all the foreign volunteers were obliged to join a commando. After several months had passed, the foreigners, eager to have responsible command, prevailed upon the generals to allow the formation of foreign legions to operate independently. The Legion of France, the American Scouts, the Russian Scouts, the German Corps, and several other organizations were formed, and for a month after the investment of Bloemfontein, these legions alone enlivened the situation by their frolicsome reports of attacks on the enemy's outposts. During those weeks, the entire British Army must have been put to flight scores of times at the very least, if the reports of the foreign legions may be believed, and the British casualty list must have amounted to thrice the number of English soldiers in the country. The free rein given to the foreign legionaries was withdrawn shortly after Villebois-Mareuil and his small band of Frenchmen met with disaster at Boersdorf, and thereafter all the foreigners were placed under the direct command of General de la Rey.
I hope that you found this introduction interesting and that you'll come back for more. My name is Kali, and I will see you soon. Tot ziens.